help you. Okay, as promised, it is 5:10. I'm going to start officially this tour. Welcome to everyone. My name is Chrissy Lind Hunter. I work for Greensmiths. I'm the co-founder of that. I am extremely honored today to be the MC for the Habitat After Dark virtual tour. Thank you to all of you that have been introducing yourselves in the chat feed and saying hello, old friends and new, for people who are local and those of you joining us from overseas. Incredible to have such a community from all over the world and locally wanting to join something like this. It tells me lots of us are missing the outdoors at the moment. Lots of us are missing our local rainforest in Penang. And we've got some special things to show you. Oh, I'm really excited. I know the team is extremely excited to show you what we have in our amazing rainforest in the habitat. A few things as well. During the call, we're going to have some questions going out to you, which means you can use the chat feed during the conversations and during the presentation to ask questions or respond to some of the questions that we will ask you. Again, there's at the moment, over 150 people on this call. So we apologize in advance if we don't get to you, all of your questions. But at the end of this tour, there is a short Q&A. And the team will do their utmost best to respond to your questions using social media after this tour itself. But finally, welcome and let's get started. So first of all, why are we doing something like this? We launched this tour last week on Earth Day. We were celebrating the Earth and we were encouraging everyone to become citizen scientists. Earth Day is about recognizing what an incredible gift we have in our planet, celebrating all the corners of it. And also, we wanted to encourage people to be more curious. This is something that Justine Vaz, the director of the Habitat Foundation, actually made up, and I've been using it myself because life and learning must go on. So we welcome you during a really incredible time on the earth right now with the MCO, for us in Malaysia, for the coronavirus that's going on around the planet and affecting so many people. And yet, what an incredible scene to have all of you join us, because life and learning must go on. And we want you to use this opportunity to connect with each other. Here is a community of like-minded people, also desperately missing greenery, but also wanting to celebrate the earth together. So wonderful to have you all with us. It is also my absolute pleasure to welcome you to the habitat itself. This is the habitat's Curtis crest. You can see it emerging out of the trees there. What a glorious photo. And that is the highest viewing platform on Penang Island. So we're going to visit it and we're going to visit the grounds around it, just like we really would if we were going on one of the habitat's night walks for real. So we're asking you really to use your imagination with us, to go with us to this special place. And I'm sure you'll enjoy it more for you. And if you've got your family members on, I've heard that there's some kids who've joined us with their families. So good to have you. And imagine if we're all going there in person together. So who is on this call? So it's my pleasure to introduce you to Dr. Ahmed. Ahmed is also a friend of mine. He happens to be the person I WhatsApp every time I see something, a species I don't know. And I'll text at Ahmed and ask him what it is. Dr. Ahmed is from the Habitat Foundation. He's going to be one of your guides during today's virtual tour. The other main guide today is Lo. Lo is a naturalist at the Habitat Penang Hill. It's a lovely photo of Lo at work, inspiring people, showing them something scary and interesting inside underneath that cave there on the Habitat, at the Habitat Walk. But also, Lo's an expert in snakes, which we may run into during this tour today. And finally, let me just introduce myself. My name is Christina Lind Hunter. I'm the co-founder of Greensmiths. We're an organization based in Penang. We work directly with young people because our vision is to empower young people to build a sustainable planet. So we work with schools and young people. We've been a benefactor of the Habitat Foundation, and we're so honored to be able to co-host this session with them today. But something like this isn't easy to do, especially with such a large group and using an online platform. So I want to thank and welcome our support crew who are going to be on the chat feed with you throughout. Oh my goodness, sorry, I've just seen a note from one of my students. Hello, a student from Wesley School has also joined us. Lovely to have you here. Okay, our support crew. First of all, many of you may know Justine Vaz. She's the director of the Habitat Foundation. It was her who instigated this partnership with us, and we're so grateful for what she does in empowering so many organizations and groups to do their work well in conservation and in protecting wildlife and empowering local communities. So thank you, Justine. Justine is on the chat feed. She'll be answering your questions. If you have any for her, please do go ahead and ask her. Secondly, I'm very happy to introduce Yushern. Yushern is the projects manager for Greensmiths. She's like my lifeline. Yushern works in delivery in our school programs for schools in Penang. And also she's going to be on the chat feed answering any of your questions and helping also with some of the technical side behind the scenes. And lastly, again, another famous face for many of you. This is Ethan Pang from the Habitat Foundation. Again, Ethan has partnered with Greensmiths before too. He's helped us with projects around biodiversity, particularly around pollinators. He loves his butterflies. And also just a side note, but over the weekend, if some of you were on Instagram Live, you may have seen him at Self-Sufficient Penang, sharing about his composting and his window garden. So thanks for that, Ethan. Today, Ethan's going to be helping on the YouTube page, and also he's got some extra facts for you that will come up on the chat feed. Okay, just a little bit more before we get started. First of all, it's the Habitat After Dark. We think that means that lights out may be best to get the best experience of our virtual forest. We're going to show you some images that were taken at night. So obviously, if you can dim your lights or maybe just turn them off, maybe pull a curtain over, you'll get a little bit of a clearer view of some of the pictures, and we think that'll be best. Secondly, as I mentioned earlier, please do interact with us in the chat box. Please do stay on mute at all times, as we've asked, so that everyone's experience is a positive one. But we'd love to hear your questions. And also, of course, as I said, there will be some questions for you. And I mentioned earlier, but for those of you that just joined us, stay with us right until the end, please. You may be in the running to win some nice prizes. We will again show you on the chat feed how to get involved with that. Okay, the time has come. Those of you that are in Penang, this view kind of matches what's outside, maybe a little bit later, but I want you to come with me in a bit of an imaginative journey. I want you to imagine right now that you are standing here on Curtis Crest. And we're just going to take a moment to let the stresses of the day, the technology, all of those things just kind of melt away. And we're going to watch the sunset go down together. And imagine as that sun goes down that we're getting ourselves ready to go on this virtual tour. And as that sun just disappears over the mountains, it's my pleasure now for us to imagine that we're now here at the darkness. It gets dark pretty quickly up there, especially under the canopy. And we're just going to descend that staircase like we've come off of Curtis Crest down to the ground level so we can meet the guides and meet the rest of the people that are going on this special tour together. So it's my honor to introduce to you your first guide. Lo, would you like to come off of mute and say hi to everyone on the call?
Hi guys. Yeah, I'm Lo. I'm a nature guide up there, and I'll be taking you on this journey of the night walk.
Thank you so much, Lo. It's wonderful to have you, and also wonderful we can see your image right there, just as you would do in your real job. But I know there's something that you like to share with everyone when they normally come on the night walks. And so I think we'll just, as if we're really there, what is it that you'd like us to know now?
All right. So when we first start the night walk, after people view the sunset, is that we'll get everyone around at the base of our Curtis Crest treetop walk, and we'll do this briefing. So we'll give everyone this nice little lantern so they can see their way along the trail. And then we also invite everyone to enjoy the sound of nature as the live band, or so we call it, starts to play. So right now, I think we will go through our first session, which is listening to what we can find in the forest.
Thank you so much, Lo. And so I'm just going to set us the scene. Hopefully you can hear that in the background. Help you get into the reality as if you're really there. And Lo, there's something else you also say about using our senses. What is it that you'd like us to do as if we really were coming into the walk?
Yeah, so usually when it's dark at night, you can't see much, right? So you need to rely on your other senses, like especially your hearing, because what you hear is very different from what you hear in the morning. So daytime, you might hear some cicadas. At night, you might hear something else. I will not give you too much tips. Later, you check them out when we go through with this.
That's great. Little teaser. Thank you so much, Lo. All right, so let's get started then. So the first part of our tour, just like you said, I want us to imagine that we started walking across one of the canopies and we stopped to look at this lovely looking stick insect on the side. But suddenly we hear a noise from somewhere else. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to play some sounds for you. Lo's going to drop some hints here and there. And we'd like you to write into the chat feed, what do you think is making that sound? Okay? And I'm going to leave it with Lo to tease you all. Oh, I should also say, this sound is very loud. If you are on headphones, I'm just going to warn you now, in a few seconds, I'm going to start the sound. You may want to just hold that away from your ear whilst you adjust your volume, okay? Here is the first sound. I'm going to stop it there.
Yeah, not as bad as actual insects calling. Yeah, but at night when we actually listen to these guys, they are so loud. You can even feel your eardrums vibrating. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like I thought that just now as well.
Yeah.
Some ideas into the chat feed. Some people are saying cicadas or mating calls from some insects.
Ooh, I see some very good answers. Oh, broken whistle. Yeah. Oh, a lot of people saying cicadas. Yeah, cicadas, they do make this kind of noise, but usually in the daytime. Cicada don't call at night. So what is their counterpart at night? Their night shift. Take a guess.
Police.
Ooh. Police. Right now, if you hear police, you're in trouble. Ooh, a lot of good answer. Oh, there's someone saying katydids as well. Katydids do make calls at night, but slightly different, not as loud as this one. And katydids call are more in a melody. And I'm seeing praying mantis. I never hear a praying mantis call before.
Okay, all right. I think we're gonna put them out in misery. Let's show them what we've got, shall we?
Yes.
That's the sound. This is the sound again, and now you can see it.
Yeah, so what you are seeing with the help of our little torchlight is a cricket. It's our forest cricket. They are quite large. They can grow up to about, I would say, more than 1 inch. They're very large, and you can hear them just by the side of the trail. They usually burrow underground. They dig a nice little burrow to help them amplify the noise. So how they produce the sound is through a rubbing of the wings, a process called stridulation, like how our violin plays. So through this rubbing, they are calling so loudly to tell their competitors that this is their territory, do go away. And later at night, when it's maybe past midnight, they'll start calling their love song, which is more like a melody to attract their mates. And all these callings are mainly the males. The female doesn't call, the female just choose who sings the best.
Oh, interesting. I like that. I like that dynamic. I thought you were going to make the sound there as well. I thought you were going to start singing. Thank you so much. Okay, we're going to move swiftly on to our next sound, if that's okay.
Yep.
There was that sound again. I just have to do it. All right, so imagine with us that we started walking down the path a little further. We bumped into this cute little toad over here. But again, we hear a sound from somewhere else. What do you think is making this sound? I'll play that again. All right, we'll try one more time. Ooh, there's some guesses coming through.
Yeah, so what you want to listen for is that ticking sound, like a little clock at the background. Tick, 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 tick. Someone is guessing snakes, butterfly. Yeah, we have a lot of toads and frogs going on. Yeah.
Bats.
Owls as well. Oh, some people saying bats. Bats do make calls, but their calls are so high pitched. Usually we just hear a little screech only. Yeah, woodpecker. Some people are saying woodpecker. Woodpecker usually daytime as well. Nighttime like this, they're already sleeping. Yeah.
All right, well, let's have a look at this then, shall we?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to play this sound with it. Here we are.
Okay, so what you're hearing is by these little guys. They are called the dwarf bush frog. They're really tiny, only the size of my thumb. And you can see in the picture, this is a male calling, and they use this bubble, which is their vocal sac, to help force the air to come out to produce the sound. So this ticking sound that they make is actually a love song to help them attract the mates. And one very interesting fact about this kind of frog is that they are very different from the reproductive behavior of what we learn in school about frogs, that they lay eggs, the eggs hatch into tadpoles swim around and grow into adults, right? These guys, what they do is a process called direct development, whereby the females lay the egg, and inside the eggs are those tadpoles, and when they hatch, they're already fully developed into this tiny, tiny little frog. So these guys, you can hear them a lot on Penang Hill, especially at night. Yeah, always can hear them, but very, very hard to find them because they are really, really tiny.
Yeah, what size are they, though?
I would say maybe about close to 2 centimeters, roughly.
Ooh,
yeah.
Wow. Really, really tiny.
Really tiny.
A lot of comments on the chat feed, people saying what a beautiful frog. Someone here also saying that they're really tiny because they're sort of thumb-sized, but they've got gorgeous colors. So thank you very much for those comments that are on the chat feed. And yeah, I mean, it must be quite hard to find them, but at least they make enough noise. All right, should we do the next one, Lo?
Yeah, let's go to the next one.
Super. Okay, so I want us to imagine we've left the frogs behind. We've stopped at this little tree here to have a look at this lovely little slimy thing. And suddenly we hear another sound. What do we think is making this sound? I'll play it again in just a few minutes. We've got some interesting guesses. Wow, we have actually quite unanimous guesses nearly.
Very, very good guesses. This group is a pro as well.
This is a pro. Okay, but maybe move straight on and have a look, shall we, at what's making that sound. Let's have a look. There we go.
Yeah, so what you're hearing is actually an owl, and what we call as the brown hawk owl. They are quite a small little owl that can grow up to about 1 foot tall, and they are quite different from the common owls that we usually see. The common owls that we commonly see on TV, online, usually have this big face that look like a disc, but these little guys, they don't have that. So how they capture their prey or how they find their prey is really rely mostly on those big eyes, yes. So those eyes can capture a lot of light to help them spot those tiny little movement of those frogs, maybe even lizards or even small little rodents while they are perching in the dark.
Amazing. Yeah. Well, I was going to say maybe there's some questions from the chat feed, but nearly everyone got that correct. And you got that all. So we must have some birders on the line. Lovely to have you all. Just to again ask, if you do have any questions you'd like to ask us, you can put that onto the chat feed. Lo and I will try and have a look, as well as our support crew. So Shu is asking, what is the estimated size of this owl? We think it's around 1 foot. Is that correct?
Yep, 1 foot or roughly 30 centimeters. Yeah.
Centimeters. Fantastic. Thank you. And Justine has just added a few more. Shin Aiki asks, is this male or female?
Oof, this is hard to tell for me. Yeah, not a birder myself, but this one, I'm not sure because this particular species, the brown hawk owl, are not particularly known for their sexual dimorphism. So the males and the female might look almost the same. So it's hard to tell from a picture.
That's fantastic. And also, I just want to say thank you, Lo, because I think it's really great for us to be able to know, sometimes we're all still learning, aren't we? You've got specialisms in particular species you know really well, and there are other species you learn more about. And I think that's wonderful for all of us, that we, as citizen scientists, we might all have different bits of expertise in different areas. So thank you so much for that. Thank you for your honest answer too. It is very cute, says the chat feed.
Yeah, they are one of the cutest.
All right, well, thank you for that. That was us using our listening and our senses to hear what kind of sounds we might have in the forest. We're now going to move on to those things that are kind of moving around at night. But Lo, I think you had a question for the chat feed that you often ask people before they start. Can you share that with us?
Yeah, usually before we start the night tour, one other thing that we always ask our visitors is to check if they have any kind of phobia, whether it's on snakes, on spiders, or any other creepy crawlies. So if you do have any kind of phobia, do let us know in the chat, because we might bump into some of them along the way.
On a good note, here's the benefit of online virtual tours. It's not going to touch you. It's not going to jump out of your screen. But hopefully, like any naturalist, we hope that having an experience like this might also give you some more information about those animals if you are a bit concerned about them, and therefore make you be more curious about seeing them and less scared, because every animal could be scary, but every animal also has wonderful attributes. Okay, so we've got Max Tong says, lizard eating a dragonfly. Oh yes, that's the picture you're seeing there. I hope they don't scare you too much. Ahmed is scared of king cobras, apparently.
Oh, I'm afraid of those too.
What other animals might you be scared of? Do let us know on the chat feed. We have some students who joined us, I think, earlier. Any of those animals that you're worried about seeing? Ali says reptiles.
Oops. All I can say is oops. Don't worry, later we'll observe it from a very, very safe distance and through the screen. So it'll be very safe. Don't worry about it.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, today's group, I think a lot of people are afraid of lizards, oddly. Yeah, snakes, reptiles, crocodiles, centipedes. Ooh.
Lots of legs.
Yeah, but generally speaking, this looks like a pretty brave group. I don't see a lot of people afraid of any other animals.
Okay, well, we'll see. So just as a little warning to everyone, if you are a little bit worried about creepy crawlies, we might bump into something like that on the screen. But as we said, you're totally safe, and hopefully this experience will give you something positive to have with them. So let's get started. Lois is going to stay on as the guide for this section, and he's going to start with maybe one of his favorite animals.
Yeah, this is one of my favorite, and this particular guy, we actually bumped into it during our night walk, roughly 2 weeks before the whole MCO. So we observed it for actually 3 days, and it's sitting at the same spot. So maybe you can take a guess what you see in this picture.
Unless you have your naturalists on the line, so maybe we can say, if you know what type of animal, could you say the name of the species or take a guess what you think you might be able to work out about this particular animal? Okay, so we've got green snakes, green tree snakes. Little green cutie. That's a great name for a snake.
Yeah, good name. Very good for PR.
The Mori in Japanese. Thank you very much for that. I love that we have an international crowd and we're doing these in different languages.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I think we have a correct answer.
All right.
Shall we review?
Let's do it.
Yeah. So what you are looking at is actually a waggler's pit viper, and yes, they are venomous. But usually, when they bite, they'll go for what we call as a dry bite. They won't they won't go out of their way to harm you. Usually, they'll just tell you to go away. I'm sitting here waiting for my food. Do not disturb me. And from the picture, the one that you see on the left side, the apple green color ones is quite similar to the one that we see along our trail. It's a juvenile. And on the right side, you can see a different color. Maybe you want to take a guess which one is the male, which one is the female, maybe? Yeah. Try to guess in the chat, see which one it might be. Which one is the male, which one is the female? Yeah, we have people saying light green is male, dark color female. Right one is male, left one is female. Wow. Yeah, a lot of people making very good guesses. The left one looks like a male, yes. Yeah, so I'll review the answer, but I hope don't get angry with me, because actually both these pictures are females. It's just at different phases of their life. The one on the left side, yeah, even though it looks like a male, it's actually a female juvenile stage, whereas the right one is growing into adult. The male actually looks very similar to the juvenile female, which is this apple green color with this red and cream color pattern. But for the males, there are dots along the way. But for females, they have more like a band. And as they grow up, the female can grow to about 1 meter, whereas the male usually maybe more than 1 foot only. Yeah. Trick question, sorry.
We got fooled. We're all learning something new there. That Lo's not going to make it easy for you guys. I see.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to the next one, though. So, everyone on the chat feed, next chance, what is this?
Is it the same one? Ta-da! Yeah. I think someone guessed this before. Yeah? Oh, very cute photo, right? Those judgmental eyes looking at you. Do you know who am I? Yeah, very cute snake, very beautiful. Yep, sexy eyes.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, and very, very slim. Yes.
Okay,
Wow.
Vine snake, and
yeah, we're already seeing some good answer. Bamboo snake, vine snakes. Yeah, any other guesses? Vine snake. Wow, this group, they are pro, man.
All right, let's have a look.
Yeah, so what you're looking at is what we call as an oriental whip snake, or some people call them oriental vine snake. They are green color and very long, which resembles a vine. That's why they call it a vine snake. And usually these kind of snakes, they are considered diurnal, which means they're active during the daytime. But at night, you can still find them, sometimes hanging on those branches, sleeping, curled up on the branch and sleep. And if there's any predators shaking the tree, they'll just jump off. And they can somewhat glide as well, though not as far as those flying snake. And if you are worried, these snakes, this particular species, they are not highly venomous. They are mildly venomous. If they bite us, they can't cause any harm. And their fangs are not like vipers, which is at the front. They are located at the back of the mouth, which means that they need to bite on you and chew for a little while before they can inject the venom. Oh. And even with the venom, maybe you just get a fever at most. Yeah, usually people are fine with the bite of these kind of snakes. So yeah, and we are not encouraging you to go and try to catch these snakes, because they will try to bite you. And my colleague Farah can vouch for that.
She got a little too enthusiastic, perhaps. That's wonderful. Thank you so much for that information. Particularly, I didn't actually know that they could have teeth in such different positions in their mouth. Also, just for everyone on the call, this was not shown in the previous tour, so you've had an exclusive just now. Okay, so our next one. Again, no one said that they were scared of this next species, so hopefully you're not. But let's see if you know what this is.
Jang jang. Any guesses what this might be? Ooh. This, wow. I have to clap for this group today. Wow. Spider-Man. Best answer. Yeah, some people guess trapdoor. Yeah, we do have trapdoor on Penang Hill, but this one is lacking a door. My greatest fear. Yeah, hillside spider. Ooh, very good name. All right, we are seeing a lot of this good answer.
Yeah, let's go for it. Let's have a look what this is.
Yeah, so this one that we see along our trail is called a black femur tarantula. And this particular species is very unique. They are only found on top of Penang Hill, nowhere else in the world. And these guys, usually when you see them, they'll be hiding inside their burrow with their legs coming out from the burrow waiting for their food. And unlike the owls or the other snakes that have good eye vision to see in the dark, these guys, they are almost blind. So how do they hunt at night is through their little hairs. So tarantulas have all these hairs on their arms and legs, and this helps them sense vibration. Those tiny little vibrations created by insects passing by will trigger the spider to jump out and pull them in. Yeah, so this one is a very, very interesting species, a true Penangite.
Yeah, and Elizabeth Jacob is just asking, is this venomous?
They are venomous, but they are mildly venomous. Not known to be able to harm human, though if they bite you, it may cause some swelling, somewhat like a bee sting. But you want to be careful with them because they have this tiny fine hair which they will kick off their body if they are triggered. If they are afraid, they'll kick off from their body, and those hairs, if they fly into your eyes, it's going to be very, very painful and very hard to remove because they have barbs.
Okay, well, thank you very much. Yeah, Ali's just noticed something. She's saying it looks like 2 fangs. Is it 2 fangs or 10 legs?
Yeah, so tarantulas, like other spiders, they only have 8 legs, and the 2 at the front there, those very long ones are what we call as pedipalps, something like the hand to help them touchy. And they do have 2 fangs as well, 2 big fangs that will show you if they trigger them. And yeah, and I think I saw someone asking, how big are they? They can grow up to about the size of my palm. Yeah, quite a big spider.
Okay, well, thank you so much. And so nice to see, as Rena mentioned, this is a true Penangite as well. The black femur tarantula endemic to Penang Hill. Wonderful. Okay, let's move ourselves on. We've got a little video.
Yeah, so as we shine the light on the side of a tree, we found a very interesting creature. I think a lot of people is afraid of this one. Ooh, very good answer. Wow, we have some pros in over here. Just to give you some tips. Yeah, so the name of this gecko is actually on the body. Yeah, look closely and you can find the name of this gecko. Gecko, lizard. Yeah, actually, gecko is a kind of lizard. Yeah, just a smaller one with the detachable tail and a smooth skin. White striped gecko.
Wow. I like that guess, zebra gecko. It's a good guess, isn't it?
Yeah, we have some people guessing, zebra gecko as well. Wow. Shuhada is on fire, man. Cytodactylus, great guess.
Okay, let's have a see. What is this?
All right, so this particular one is what we call as the Penang banded gecko. So you can see along the body, there's a lot of different bands. And yeah, this particular one is also very unique. They are only found here on top of Penang Hill. On Penang Island. Also another true Penangite. Previously, about a decade ago, people thought that this species, you can find them all across Peninsular Malaysia, which is the same species. But with the help of DNA and our taxonomists, we found out that actually all these different spots, they have these different tiny little endemic species only found in certain area, another proud Penangite. And if you look at the picture on the left side, you can see they have these big round eyes. So this gecko actually somewhat sacrificed their skull to grow their very, very big eyes to help them capture as much light as possible to help them see in the dark. A very, very cute little guy. Unfortunately, currently considered endangered. Less than 2,000 of them in the wild now. Yeah.
Oh, thank you for sharing that, Lo. And obviously, we want to save our fellow Penangites. So let's be on the lookout for how we can help ensure that gecko carries on. This question actually comes from earlier as well, because we're so close and we can see some detail on the head. What is the hole that's just behind the eye in that right-hand side photo?
All right. So the hole behind, by the side there, that is actually the ear of the gecko. So gecko do have ear, but they don't have like ours. They are more of what we call like an internal ear. Yeah. So just directly go inside, no external structure to help them capture that much sound.
Thank you very much. Last question is, how big?
This guy is about 25 centimeter, the full-grown adult, about 25 centimeter. Yeah, quite a big gecko. Yes.
And absolutely beautiful. Thank you so much, Lo. All right, we're getting on. Ooh, yes, we are. We're getting on to another scary one. I pressed the button before I gave you the disclaimer. I'm so sorry. Anyway, what do you think this one is? And some extra questions, of course. Why is it that color?
Yeah, so this particular one is hard to find in the dark, even with a normal torchlight. So we will need to pull out our very special equipment, the blue light, a UV lights, to help us see in the dark. So when we shine on the forest floor, sometimes we can see these guys glowing. Yeah, they are light blue color. Yeah, wow. Very, very good answer. This group is amazing. Yeah, shall we review?
Let's do it.
Yeah, so what we are looking at is actually called a bark scorpion. They're usually, under normal lighting condition, they look like this, a brown color. But at night, if you shine them with UV, they reflect the UV light. And if you look at this picture, you notice something very interesting on the body. Can anyone tell me what you might see?
Good question. Oh,
yeah, try to count them.
Yeah, they're babies.
Yeah, so mother scorpion do have this behavior. They do parental care. They take care of their baby. So they'll carry the baby on the back of their body until they are ready. After they molt, then only they'll let them go. Let them go and explore on their own and grow up into adults. And last week we did mention on how they reproduce. And I have to do a little bit of correction. Instead of like our other insects that do what we call as ovoviviparous, where they have the eggs inside the body and hatch out those little baby. These guys actually develop the babies in their body without the egg. So they are somewhat like the human, very, very similar to us, but they don't have the placenta. So they give life birth. Yeah.
They give life birth to 20 at a time.
Yeah, maybe more.
Maybe more. I'm just laughing because there was a comment earlier from Ahmed saying little nightmares.
All right, there's people asking what does the baby eat? So whatever the mom catch or kill, the baby can enjoy those as well. So for the early stage of their life, they rely on the mother for food. Any other question about this scorpion before we?
Jane is asking, do they bite people?
Ooh, bite-wise, I don't think so. But for scorpion, usually they will go for pinching. They use their claw to pinch you. But for this particular one, I'm quite confident that it might use the tail, the sting. Because for scorpions, you can always look at their pincer, their claw, and also their tail, and see which one is larger. If they have very large claws, which means that they are like somewhat like muscular, they'll catch their prey using those claws. But if they have a small claw and a larger tail, which is quite thick, like the one in the picture here, they have strong venom to help them catch their prey. Yeah.
Thank you so much. There's a few more questions, but I am going to pass them over to the support crew, just because we do have quite a few more animals. We're about halfway through now. So I just want to say a massive thank you to Lo. You've been a wonderful guide. Lots of really, really interesting facts there. You can now put yourself onto mute, and can I please welcome Dr. Ahmed off mute as to be the guide of our second half. Ahmed, are you there?
Yep. Can you hear me?
Great. Yes, the sound is excellent. I don't know if the video is on, but often last time we had Ahmed in the dark anyway, so. All right, so Ahmed is going to bring us onto the second part of this tour, but I believe you're going to start with something potentially scary as well. Is that right, Ahmed?
Yes, of course. The night walk, not being scared. Yes. Yeah, vampires from Penang Hill.
So the question is to the crowd, what are the vampires on Penang Hill? Please do give us your answers into the chat feed. Ooh, we've got some responses already. Bats, leeches, mosquitoes.
We have mosquitoes everywhere. We don't call them vampires.
Okay, well, shall I give them the next hint, Ahmed?
Yes, please.
I'm going to play you a little video. Oh my.
Okay. Does that look like a vampire to you? Anybody want to guess what type of vampire is that?
Ooh.
Now people get confused. What's that? He's saying talking about vampire, but then suddenly showing this weird little creature.
There's a crab with question mark. Okay, Ahmed, I'm going to move us on to the next slide. What on earth is this?
Yeah.
Oops, my fault. Sorry. There you go.
Okay, there's a Penang Hill vampire crab. This is another Penangite, truly Penangite, only to be found on Penang Island. It was only discovered in 2016.
Wow.
Okay. For those who are thinking about chili crab, forget about this crab. It's too small to be eaten. Adults will only grow between 2.5 centimeters up to 3 centimeters big. So they're no more bigger than your thumb. So no chili crab for them. Not a chili crab recipe. Okay. So instead of being found in streams or rivers, the Penang Hill vampire crab stays in between leaves that collect water. So it could be in the bird nest fern or pandan trees, or on Penang Hill, they are normally found in the bromeliads, an ornamental plant.
A question here from Lim Hoi. Why is it called vampire?
Okay. They're called vampire because there's another species from the same genus, from the Geosesarmas genus, that are found in Indonesia. They have bright yellow eyes, and then with those bright yellow eyes and coming out at night, so it looks spooky. But then not the Penang Hill vampire crabs. They don't have those yellow spooky eyes, but then they do still come out at night. So we just got the Geosesarma called vampire crab. So the Penang Hill vampire crab. Yeah. So we just use that name.
So what you're saying, Ahmed, is it doesn't suck blood?
Yeah, not at all. They only eat larvae, insect larvae that are found in the water that they're staying in, or the detritus, the rotten stuff, rotten food material that are found in the water where they live in.
Thank you so much. There's lots of questions and lots of, oh my goodness, how fascinating.
Yeah, this crab can only be found on Penang Hill, 700 meters above sea level only. So that's amazing.
It's amazing. Wonderful. There's some more extra facts coming up onto the chat feed. Thank you so much, Ahmed. We're going to move on to our next one. But before we look at the actual animal, can you help us understand why we might see this animal with a red light instead of a torchlight?
Okay. Animals that come out at night, normally they're very sensitive to the normal lights, to the white light or to the yellow light. So we don't want to harm them. And we want our best. We want to make sure that they can just do their normal behavior while we are observing them. So that's why it's better for us to use red lights instead of the normal lights when we do wildlife night watching.
Yeah, well, thank you so much for that. Yep, so those of you that are thinking about buying head torches in the future, do make sure it has that red setting. Means that you can come on these night walks and you can shine your torch around as long as it's that red color and it won't damage any of the animals. All right, so let's have a look what they found. And I'm going to show you this video. See if you can figure it out. I'll play it one more time at this speed, and then we're going to slow it down for you. By the way, whoever put the music in the background is fantastic. So creepy. All right, let's see if we can see it slow down.
Okay, we've got a few correct guesses. Hello?
Okay, yeah, no worries, I've got you. Well,
Okay,
before we move on to...
Flying squirrel. No, that's not a flying squirrel.
No.
Someone wrote sugar glider. No, we don't have sugar glider in Penang. Flying fox. That's not a flying fox. And then Okay. To tell you what species that is, I would like to invite our good friend who's studying this species. Let her tell you what species is that.
She's going to tell us a little bit about the species. Try not to reveal the name until a little bit later, perhaps. But welcome, please, Priscilla.
Yes. Hi, everyone. Can you see
Hi.
me? Yeah. Hi.
All right, Priscilla, can you tell us something about this animal without quite yet revealing the name of it?
Just give them the hints.
Yeah, so one hint, of course, you see they glide. Another one, they mostly eat leaf.
Mm-hmm.
What else? They look a bit like the tree.
All right, so their markings are kind of camouflage. What is on their skin?
Yeah, so they have fur like every other mammal,
Mm-hmm.
but it really looks like the pattern of the tree.
Okay, there's a few requests just to speak a little bit louder, Priscilla, if that's okay. Would you mind
You
just...
don't hear me really well?
Yeah, just put it right up against your mouth. Would you mind just saying that last bit again about what's on its skin?
Yes, so the fur on their skin really looks like the pattern of the tree. So that's why it's really, really hard to see them during the day.
Thank you very much. Okay, we're going to reveal a little bit more for you on the call. And again, Priscilla will be able to give us some more information. So here's another fantastic video footage. Here we go. We've slowed it down so you can see it. I'm going to play it one more time. It's an incredible animal. Let's have a look. Still some questions. Is it a lemur that's coming up onto the chat feed? Flying lemur? Okay, well, I think it's time to start revealing a bit more about this animal. So let's move on. Here we go. Priscilla, can you tell us a bit more about the Sunda Kalugo?
Yes, so I've seen a lot of people writing the name flying lemur. So it's not really wrong, but that was the old name. And it was changed to colugos because lemur are only found in Madagascar.
I'm so sorry to pause you. You just have to speak a bit louder and a bit slower. You might need to put the microphone right against your mouth. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, I think it's a bit, the
there
connection is not great, sorry.
That's great. This volume is much better. Go for it. And again.
So they were called flying lemur before, but just because they were thought to be like the lemur in Madagascar, but because they are found in Asia, we changed the name to colugos, and also because they don't fly.
Thank you. And can you tell us a bit more about what we're seeing in the photo right now?
Yes, so I don't know if you can see the little head popping out. This is really cute. This is actually the babies. So when the mom starts to wake up, you can see the baby poking out his head and looking a bit. So I think there is a bit of video later, so I don't want to say too much about it.
Sure, yeah, you're absolutely right. So what were we seeing in the video? How does it move between the trees?
Yeah, so what you just saw, they actually glide between trees. So it's exactly the same as the flying squirrel. So they can jump kind of from one tree to another and glide between them, but they cannot fly.
Thank you very much. And we've got some comments in the chat feed just saying they glide very, very fast. I'm really, wonderful, incredible. We had to slow all that footage down so that people could see them. Anyway, just as she said, I'm going to show you a few more videos. This is one of my favorite ones. Just have a look at this animal's behavior, and then Priscilla again can give us some more information about the animal. Oh. And I'll play that for you one more time. We have a question from Sherman on the chat feed, Priscilla. How big are colugos?
The size is really like a small cat, just to give an idea. Yeah.
Thank you very much. And Rosha asks, how long is the gestation period?
Yes, so actually, we just starting doing behavior survey since 1 year. So there was some estimation around 4 to 6 months. But we know that it's less than 6 months because we saw a mom with a new baby after only 3 months, 3 to 4 months. So we think it's really fast.
Well, that's good. That's almost good news, isn't it? That we might have more young.
So they can have 2 babies per year, for example. Yeah.
Great, thank you. And again, so Sui was asking, is the baby inside of a pouch? This is really interesting. Is the baby in a pouch?
No, so they don't have pouch like kangaroos, but instead their tail, which is also attached to their skin, will kind of come up, and then the baby just hang in there. But when they glide, the baby have to hang up on the mom's belly.
Wow.
So it's a bit scary.
That's a lot of trust.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. And one more question. She was asking, are they solitary?
Yeah, so that's a good question. Like I said, we just started finding a lot of amazing stuff about them. And no, they actually live in groups. We are not really sure what's going on yet. But to give you an idea, on a path of 300 meters, we counted more than 25 individuals. So this is huge. Yeah, so they actually have a group structure, but we don't really know yet. We need to analyze that more.
Oh, wow. Well, everyone on the call, you're at the exclusive of research here, finding out the behavior of this particular animal. Well, we'll be watching to hear more about that animal as you find out more. I'm just going to show the last photo. You'll see in the bottom left corner. This is the work that Priscilla and her team are doing. It's called the Night Spotting Project. You can have a look on social media at what they do. And just as you've heard, there's still things we're discovering about this animal, and we're so lucky to have so many on our beautiful Penang Hill. So I just want to say a massive thank you to Priscilla. Thank you for joining us as our special guest. Priscilla will stay on the chat feed, so if you'd like to respond to any questions, ask her any more questions, she can do that on the chat feed for you. I can still see there's quite a few more. I love everyone's very interested in the Colugo now. So
okay, thank you. Yeah, we'll answer any question later. Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you, Priscilla. Bye-bye. And I'm going to welcome back Dr. Ahmed. You back?
Yes, I'm here.
Fabulous. Thank you so much. All right, we've got a few more animals. Gosh, they're getting a real special treat tonight, aren't they? All right, everybody, what do we think is going on in here? And I'll play that video again. Ahmed, is there anything you'd like to share about what's going on in this picture? And also, I think this is our first camera trap. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. First of all, your laptop or your screen is okay. It's not your screen. It's just the color on the video clip is black and white because it's taken from a camera trap that we set up on a tree at the Habitat Penang Hill. So some hints. Okay, this species, yeah, of course, is active at night, and you don't normally see it in the day. Palm civet. No, it's not a palm civet.
A bear.
A bear. No, I'm sorry, there's not a bear. It's too small to be a bear. It's around the size of a domestic cat. Baby raccoon. Sorry, we don't have raccoons in Penang.
Somebody has also guessed vampire. Hilarious.
Okay, let's show them.
There we go.
So it's the red giant flying squirrel. So just like the Colugo, the red giant flying squirrel can also glide from one tree to another tree. They eat leaves, they eat fruits, and sometimes they do eat insects as well. Yeah, they're so cute. And look at the color, look at those eyes, and you don't hear them moving, but then suddenly, if you walking in the forest at night, then you just suddenly see a glimpse of them gliding from one tree to another tree. Then you'll be looking for them. Yeah, they are so cute.
Thank you so much. Yeah, lots of people saying how cute this animal is. And Justina's added a few extra facts on there too. Like the Colugo glides using the membrane, just like base jumping fly suits, which I don't know if anyone's done that. You're a brave person if you have. But yeah, how large is a giant flying squirrel?
The body without its tail is around a domestic cat, a house cat size, without the tail.
Oh wow! So but that tail is fairly long, longer than its current body.
Yep.
Gosh, that is the largest squirrel I've seen.
They're actually among the largest flying squirrels that are found.
Oh, thank you very much. Okay. Again, I'm going to leave some of those questions that are in the chat feed to the support crew, just because we just have a few more. Okay. It's okay to move on, Ahmed?
No, I just answered the last question. How do you differentiate the flying squirrel and the kulugo? Okay.
Yes.
Kulugos don't have a long tail like this. That's the most easiest way to differentiate them. Kulugos won't have this bushy long tail. Only the flying squirrel have this. And for the membrane, the thin membrane that enable them to glide, the Kulugos have the membrane, the thin membrane all around their body, all around between the legs to the neck and to the tail. But for the flying squirrel, they only have the membrane between their two legs, so left and right.
Thank you very much. And it looks like Jane Tay has fallen in love, according to the chat feed. Okay, well, thank you so much for that. Right, let's move on to our next animal. And what I'm going to do here again is show you some video footage. Ahmed, can you just share where this is taken?
This was taken on the Langor Way, the canopy bridge that we have at the Habitat Penang Hill.
Great, fantastic. So just proof that it's not just humans using the canopy walks. So I'm going to show this video a couple of times. You have to look really carefully. What do you think this is? Ooh. Some interesting guesses. I'll play it one more time. Look very carefully. And we will just reveal to you a quick snapshot picture as well. Okay, there's a few guesses.
Okay, people have been guessing silver cat. Okay, it's not a silver cat. Yeah, it's a cat, not a house cat, of course. Yeah, okay, we've got correct guesses. So it's a leopard cat. Jaguar, no. Okay, so the two photos shown on your screen right now. Okay, the photo on the left was taken from a camera trap that was taken in Terengganu by my friend a few years back. I just want to show how it moves around along the trail. And on the right is another leopard cat which is in captivity. So people have mistaken leopard cats with baby leopards, or some people thought that they are tiger cubs. I remember a few years back, the wildlife department got a report from some villagers that they say that there's a dead tiger cub by the roadside. So when the wildlife department rangers went to the scene, and they found out that's actually a leopard cat, not a tiger cub. Okay, this species, you might have seen them being traded online on Facebook, or even on in WhatsApp groups. So you're not supposed to be keeping these cats as pets if you don't have a permit. You need a special permit from the wildlife department if you want to keep them. But from experience from people who have tried to keep them as pets, the leopard cat do not make, I repeat, they do not make a good house pet, because they still have that wild behavior when they grow up.
Yes, thank you. In fact, someone is asking on the questions, is it a protected animal?
Yes, they are protected. As I mentioned earlier, they are protected. So if you want to keep it, you'll need a special permit from the wildlife department. How big the size is just about the size of the house cat.
Thank you so much for that. And I think that's a really good point. You know, some of our animals that we're so lucky to see in this tour at the moment, they're endangered or they're being sold. And this is not where we want these animals to be. We know that they're happiest and they should thrive in the wild. So again, you'll see in the chat feed, we have put down, if you do see this cat being potentially tried to be traded online, you can call the Wildlife Crime Hotline and report it. And that's really important because we don't want these animals to be exploited. And I mean, I'm sure we can all make the parallel to what's happening now in the world. We shouldn't have these kind of interactions with wild animals. It can lead to things that we don't want to happen. And unfortunately, the coronavirus is an example of that. So in this particular situation, the leopard cat, I mean, doesn't have any viruses that we're aware of that are affecting humans right now. But the point is, we want our animals to stay in the wild. And we much prefer to take photos from a camera trap and see them in their natural behavior than to potentially change that behavior by having them in captivity. So a huge thank you to Dr. Ahmed for sharing that. And also you'll see on the chat feed if you want that information. Sorry, Ahmed, did you want to add anything else?
Yeah, so this species, luckily they can adapt well in various type of habitats. They're fine in the forest and secondary forest and sometimes in all palm plantations as well. So they're being threatened by illegal pet trade, but then because of their behavior that they adapt well to different habitats, so they're doing well in Malaysia right now.
Thank you very much. Well, we're really pleased to hear that they're doing well. Okay, and again, now we're having to move on for time and we're on to our final animal. What is this? What is this and what is it doing? I'll play that one more time and then I'll pass over to Ahmed. Darian asks, is it a monkey or is there a lemur?
Yeah, okay, it's not a lemur. We don't have a lemur in Penang. This video was taken from using a camera trap off the Langor Way in the Habitat Penang Hill. It's a primate, yes, but then it's not a monkey. Yeah, some people got it correct. So what it's doing is that it's doing it's scent marking. It's leaving its scent to tell other lorries that hey, that I'm here. Yeah, the way they communicate.
I'm so sorry I interrupted you. So Dr. Ahmed was saying that they're scenting, and that's actually a way they communicate, saying this is part of the territory that this particular slow loris is in. Look at this photo, isn't it amazing?
So because of everybody is just like, oh, so nice, so cute. But for the same reason, this species is also being illegally traded. People have been selling them online, Facebook, WhatsApp group, Telegram, everywhere. And for your information, the slow loris is the only poisonous or venomous primate in the world. Yeah, they have venom. They have venom glands and on their arm, which they lick, and then if they bite you, you'll be bad.
Wow, what kind of thing might happen to you?
You can die, I think. Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, yes, you can die.
Wow, that's really potent. So not only should people not come in contact at all, but also there's actually a safety issue, right?
Yes, so that's why there's some traders out there, when they want to sell the baby slow loris, they'll just pull out their teeth when they're up, when they're alive. Just pull it out with a plier and before selling them.
Oh, that's so sad. Well, also thank you to Susan and Priscilla that were saying, yes, you're absolutely right. This venom is sort of related to ones that can cause anaphylactic shock. Oh my gosh, I can't talk today. So yeah, and also as people are saying, yes, tragic, such cruelty to hear that they would do that in order to be able to sell the animal when of course it'll be again, we're going to affect its behavior and, of course, the health of the animal. So let's keep it.
I would like to add one more thing. There's a video that have been shared on Facebook. Has been going around for a few times that they shows a slow loris being arms open like that, and this guy was tickling it and show that is being ticklish. The video was not showing the slow loris was not enjoying that tickle at all.
I see.
Yeah, it was stress. It's a stress animal. That's why it was like that. It was not enjoying the tickle from that guy.
Yeah, I think that's a really good point, that sometimes we might look at an animal and project human emotions on it. Oh, this is cute and small and happy, but actually any animal outside of its normal behavior without its own kind is not going to feel that way. One more question. Is it an adult in this picture?
Yes. Look at Priscilla just mentioned that is a adult female, most probably with a baby, or is now pregnant because she has swollen nipples.
Well, thank you very much. Really observant. Okay, thank you. There's lots of things also still coming up on the chat feed, but we are coming towards the end of our tour. So I want to say a massive thank you as well to Dr. Ahmed for all of those facts and that information. I think it's incredible. And just like you would on your nighttime tour, once you've finished and you've thanked your guides, we're going to have a little short question time. This is how we would like to do it. If you have a question for one of the guides, please can you write the name of the guy that you would like to direct the question to. I mentioned earlier that Lo, for example, is an expert in snakes. Ahmed, I tend to come to for any animal. But if you have any questions, you can write them now into the chat feed. Say which guide you'd like them to be directed to. We'll have a few minutes here, and then if we don't get to all of your questions, we will try and get onto them during on social media instead. So a few minutes here. Are there any questions for our guides? Support crew can respond to you for that one. Any questions for the guides? If you'd like Lo or Ahmed to answer any questions about the animals you've seen or any animals you haven't seen during this tour as well. Thanks for the question, Elizabeth. I'm sure the support crew can help you with that one. Okay, so a question here from Kai. I'm going to put this to Dr. Ahmed first. Do we get to see any of these particular animals during a daytime visit?
Okay, because this is an after dark session, so most of the species that we have shown during this tour are all nocturnal animals, except a few that you might be able to see in the day, which could be, but I won't promise you that 100% that you'll be able to see them. The pit vipers, sometimes, normally you can see them in the day. They'll be resting by the trail in the day. And sometimes the whip snake, you can see them in the day. But the rest, the mammals that I've shown you tonight, you won't be able to see them in the day.
So Ryokai, if you're a fan of snakes, that's potentially ones that you might see. But I guess the point we're making is rainforests are dense. Animals don't want to be seen, and that's why we use things like camera traps and the red lights to be able to try and see them without disturbing them. You'll just have to come and visit when the MCO has receded, and then you could have a look for those animals yourselves. Great question from Rosha. And again, actually, let me direct this to Lo, but Dr. Ahmed can also add in if he knows more. Has the Habitat done a population census of the slow loris and colugo? Maybe Lo, I'll direct this to you, but Priscilla, if you could be on standby if you have something to add as well. Lo, what do you think?
Yeah, so if it's for the Habitat Penang Hill, if for our park, we only have seen around maybe 3 colugos. Usually we can tell them apart by look at their markings. We are monitoring around 3 of them and maybe 1 or 2 babies. And for slow loris, they are rarely seen. So far, we've only seen, I would say, less than 10 observation, maybe less than 5. Personally, I only see them once. So not many.
Yeah, thank you very much. Priscilla, I don't know if you're on standby, but do you have anything else you wanted to add about the populations for slow loris and colugo? I might have caught you at a bad time. I apologize.
Yeah, no, can you hear me?
Oh, you're very, very quiet, I'm afraid. Can you go very close to the microphone?
Yes, wait, I have a problem with the sound. Can you hear me?
That's great. Go ahead.
Yes, so I actually have some data coming out soon about colugos and slow loris on Penang Island. So we actually census them all over the island.
Mm.
And colugos are really, really common because we've seen more than 120 of them.
Wow.
Yeah, that was quite a lot. And for slow loris, like they said, it's really, really rare. So we see only like 10, 15 of them. So really, really more rare to see them.
Okay, well, thank you so much for that. And Lo, looks like you got lucky seeing that slow loris. All right, thank you so much. We'll go on to the next question. Victoria asks, what's the largest animal you have? I'll go back to Dr. Ahmed for this one. The largest animal.
On Penang Hill, on Penang Island, I would say the largest mammal that we have would be the wild boar, the wild pigs. And then if you look at the reptiles, the largest reptile we have would be the reticulated python.
Have you seen one recently?
We've got a camera trap up on the canopy in one of the trees at the park at the Habitat Penang Hill. We were trying to get videos of the flying squirrel, but we ended up getting a few clips of a reticulated python on the branches. Yep.
He was waiting for the squirrels, obviously. That's where they've gone.
Yes, very possible.
Thank you so much. Okay, we'll do two more questions. How many types of animals have been recorded at the habitat? I'll go back to Lo for this one. Again, Dr. Ahmed, you can be on standby. So Lo?
How many types? Wow. I might need Ahmad to cover for this. We have quite a wide variety. So Ahmad, what do you think, Ahmad? What's the number?
I can't really tell you right now. I'm looking for it right now. Okay.
Sounds like a lot.
You're going to consider all the groups, all the reptiles, all the amphibians, and the mammals that we have at the park. Okay, like as an example, we have 38 herpetofauna, reptiles and amphibians at the park.
Wow.
We have 15 mammals recorded in the park, and 150 birds recorded at the park.
Amazing. And whoever wants to count the insects individually, someone else can start doing that research. So if you'd like to be a citizen scientist, let us know. We obviously would like more people to get involved, just like what Priscilla is doing, to do research on these incredible animals. So thank you so much, gentlemen, for that. Okay.
There's a snake question to Lo.
Okay, go ahead.
Do the snakes on Penang change their skin every year, Lo?
Wow. So snakes actually, when they grow up, they do need to change their skin, which means that they outgrow their original size. But it's hard to tell the time, whether or not it's every year, every month, every week. It depends on how much they feed. The more they eat, the larger they grow, means the faster they need to change. So far, I don't think there's any actual timing on when will they change their skin. It depends on how much they feed.
Oh, that's interesting. Thank you so much. Yeah. Okay, I've got one more now then. This is a really interesting one, and perhaps also it might be a chance for us to share what kind of things we'd love our community to do more of or do less of. So the question is, have any of the animals had human conflicts in Penang because they enter nearby human residential areas? Are any of our animals threatened because of their interactions with Penangites? Let's go, Dr. Ahmed.
Sorry, what's the question again?
So any particular animals that are threatened because of their interactions with people in residential areas?
Okay, in Penang, we do have a problem with human-macaque conflict. And it happens actually because of us, human. People start to feed them. When people start to feed them, the macaques don't see human as something dangerous to them anymore. They see us as a source of food. So they know that we can easily get frightened when they show their sharp long teeth.
Yeah.
And then they know that they can easily control us. They can manipulate us to give them food. So by going into close context, feeding animals, being too close with the monkeys, we can actually transfer diseases. Our diseases like our normal flu, can be harmful to primates and vice versa. Diseases from macaques, from primates can also jump to us, to humans as well.
Right. Yeah, thank you so much, Ahmed. I think that's, again, obviously we're living in a time where that's such a reality for everyone with the current situation with the coronavirus. But thank you so much for that question. And I'm sure there's some other scenarios as well in which we as people, as humans on the planet, want to consider our lifestyles and how what we're doing might be contributing to the demise of rainforests, to the habitats of all these incredible animals that we've shown you tonight. And these are just a few. You've heard obviously from the Habitat staff how many species they have. Think about how all of those species are affected by some of the things that we do in our own lifestyles. So that's probably for another continued conversation. I'm going to start bringing us to a close because we're getting up into the evening time when I'm sure it's going to be dinner soon. You can't have hungry Penangites. I don't know if you've ever seen that species, but they can be unbearable. But first of all, I want to say a massive thank you to Lo and to Dr. Ahmed in particular, and to the support crew that are on the line, right? So Justine, Yushan, Ethan, there were so many people on the YouTube page as well, like Lingesh, Farah, oh my goodness, I'm going to forget people's names. Nat, that's it, Nat, helping in the design. A huge number of people came together to bring you this experience. And we just want to thank you so much for your openness and for your time. But don't leave us just yet. First of all, thank you for coming. We so value your input. I've seen some feedback already on the chat feed. Please, could you complete the feedback form that is being posted into the chat feed now? The reason is if you put it there, we can put you into a lucky draw to win some special prizes. And I heard from Justine that could include entrance into the Habitat once the MCO recedes. So that's a really wonderful opportunity. Please don't leave till you've got that feedback form and you filled it in. It's just been posted into the chat feed. Oh, and thank you so much. There's lots of lovely messages coming through. And very last thing. So today, my name is Chrissy. I'm from Greensmiths. I've been so honored to partner with the Habitat Penang Hill and the Habitat Foundation to bring you this tour today. Please do follow and like our pages on social media to see future events like this. I can see some ideas are brewing on the chat feed for some further tours like this one. But as we finish the tour, people who are from the Habitat and Greensmiths, they're going to try and just come onto their videos and give you a little wave goodbye. Please do say goodbye by saying farewell on the chat feed. If you do have any final burning questions, you can add that into the quiz as well. We'll do our very best to respond to those on social media. But finally, thank you for joining us. You've just been with a community of like-minded people who care about our planet, who've been celebrating the Earth together. And we're so grateful to the Habitat for opening up their doors at night to show us some of those incredible things. One last group of people to thank are the photographers, the people behind the scenes that have brought you such incredible images and the video camera traps footage. That's so rare, it's so important. They're doing their part for citizen science, but also, I mean, I don't know if you'll ever forget that image of our Penang banded gecko, but that takes a lot of time and dedication. We want to thank all of those people who helped us with that as well. So thank you. Just to exit, say goodbye on the chat feed. If you don't know how to exit the call, remember at the bottom in the white band, there is a little telephone that's in red in the middle. You can exit by pressing that button. It leaves me with me to say thank you so much for joining us. We hope to see you again and have a wonderful evening.